Welcome back to the next episode of the eCom Growth Show. I'm your host, Danon Coleman, founder of eCom Triage and Catalog Defender, co-founder of Catalog Defender. And I've got Burak with me. And should I be rolling the R on, is it Burak or?
Yeah, correct.
I try. Okay, cool. So, Burak, would you mind telling us what do you do? Where do you come from? And then I've prepared some questions to ask you. I'm just going to rapid fire these things.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man.
Sure.
I'm the co-founder of Forceget Supply Chain. I'm originally from Istanbul, Turkey. I've been living in Miami, Florida, last 6 years. Before that, I lived in China, Shenzhen, 2012 to 2019. I had a sourcing company. Then I had a B2B brand. I was doing wholesale. And then I started selling on Amazon and I exited. Then I realized that supply chain logistics is a complicated and unsexy business for a lot of sellers, and they don't understand and they don't want to understand.
Yeah.
So we wanted to bring
Guilty.
Yeah, we wanted to bring transparency and technology into that. So that's what we have been running last 5 years, me and my team, roughly 70 people.
70 people. Oh, wow. I only see you at the events. So
I know. But Accelerate, we had 8 people in the booth. This was our third year. Yeah, it was a really good event.
Yeah, that's awesome. Accelerate. Yeah. And I got some really good connections at Accelerate this year. It was excellent.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
All right. Now, I have my own experience with importing products, and I would just let the manufacturer handle absolutely everything. So it was basically, well, attempted DDP to me, right? And when it wasn't a crazy amount. I was not doing containers. I was doing pallets because the product was small, but I had $50,000 worth of inventory hit the docks and then get turned away and shipped back to I think came out of Slovakia.
Yeah.
And that was a rude awakening for me. It's like, one, I'm out of inventory. And it wasn't actually my mistake. It was the manufacturer's mistake. Despite us giving them everything that they needed, they shipped it to the wrong address and then it was refused by Amazon. So it actually made it, was it going into England or America? I can't remember, but it came in, went through customs, got refused, and then got shipped back to Slovakia. And it was like, wow, okay, there's 2 months worth of inventory.
Especially with Amazon, you don't really have a direct point of contact.
Right.
You probably find out about the shipment is going back after it's shipped back, actually.
Yes.
Manufacturer receives. So that's a big issue.
Yeah, and the thing is that if we did have a point of contact at Amazon, it would have been a simple thing, because we did contact them. We said there was some notification saying, hey, this went to the wrong spot. Like, oh, cool, here's the correct spot, and no response. And then the next thing is like, yeah, we've refused the ship and it's being shipped back. Like,
it's very interesting. I met someone in Amazon Accelerate last week, and then he was using AGL to ship the goods to AWD full container. Someone reached out to him through LinkedIn, and he said, "Hey, we have your goods." He thought it's a scam, like I don't even know who you are. It was just a random 3PL in Los Angeles, and then they actually found his email and phone number, sent him the picture of his actual goods. So AGL just randomly dropped off the container, some 3PL, not even in their own FBA or AWD, and then they were like, "Hey, yeah, you need to come and pick this up. Like, we don't even know who you are. You don't have an account with us. Otherwise, we're going to destroy your products." It was like $80,000 worth of products. Yeah. And then kind of contact Amazon. After 1 week, they sent a truck, so they paid the bills and everything. Yeah. But it's a crazy story. Like, how can you drop off a container that somewhere it's not going to, which is not even Amazon? Like, so it's kind of like crazy. Amazon outsource most of those services, AGL, AWD, some of them owned by their own operators, own people, but then a lot of services are outside of Amazon. But of course, you see it in the Accelerate opening, everything they do is so perfect. So now they start fulfilling for Shein, TikTok, Shopify, Walmart. I don't know where to start.
Yeah, and something that I saw prior to Accelerate, Amazon did a thing for partners, and what's coming out in the near future is really interesting in that you're going to be able to use Amazon to fulfill anywhere. And they didn't go into details on it, but basically you're going to be able to use um
FBA.
yeah, so it's yeah, but the other thing that's interesting is they will work with other 3PLs as well. And warehousing space seems to be an issue. I think you've probably seen this more than anyone. They opened up AWD and said, "Yeah, by the way, we give you better rates than anyone, and you get a 10% discount over here." And then everyone said, "Cool, yeah, I'll do that." I'm like, "No, no, we don't have enough space. Nobody can do it anymore." And then containers were being dropped off in the parking lot and sitting there for weeks or months. So all right, let's dive down this. I've got a few questions that I've got prepared for you that I'd like to ask and get your opinion on because I've had my own really crappy experiences when it comes to logistics, and it's really confusing. Um, and I want to know. I eventually did hire a logistics company to help me, and they were also able to help me with my import and duties and my HS codes and all that stuff. And it ended up saving me a significant amount of money on my first shipment. So here's question number one. So many e-commerce brands are expanding beyond Amazon into Shopify, Walmart, TikTok. What do you see as the biggest challenge when managing logistics across multiple channels?
So that's something you mentioned. I think one thing that when we talked to over 300 brands in Accelerate in 3 days, and they're mostly big companies. Um, One thing that they mention is they love the juice and traffic from Amazon, but they don't want to stick to Amazon only because of the fees. And we all agree about that. Amazon is coming out with something new, and then they enroll you, and then they're like, "Oh, sorry, we increased the price 30%. You can't do anything." But one thing that this year we spoke a lot of people, they go omni-channel, multi-channel, so they want to expand other sales channels, but also other countries. So, and we have been Amazon Canada last 3 years direct partner for expansion. This year we're starting Europe and UK as well with the global selling team. One thing that I realized is convenience. People want to do something, it's convenient for them. So using supplier for everything, DDP, door to door, it's convenient.
Yes.
Using AGL and AWD, if you're selling on only Amazon FBA, I agree. It's convenient. If you don't worry too much about running out of inventory, if you have enough buffer stock money, it's a great option. But the things are changing. People are more cost. They worry more about their cost, their landing cost, their profit. Margins are definitely getting tinier every year. And this is why I tell them like not to have just supplier or Amazon to manage, but you need to start looking for different partners in different part of the steps in the fulfillment pipeline. International shipping is one thing, warehouse fulfillment another thing, global expansion partner another thing. And one of the biggest issue I feel is they have a lot of vendors, suppliers, and none of them are connected to each other. That's why their data is all over the place. So they can't have a good forecasting and they can't have a good inventory planning, which we saw that last maybe 3 years ago was a big trend. All these accelerators, all these like big what do you call that, aggregators.
Mm-hmm.
um Back then in Prosper, I remember they were like, "Oh, we give you a free Tesla if you refer us a brand." It was just insane. You
Yes.
remember those days?
Yes,
I
I
was
do.
and
And I
then
never got a Tesla, by the way.
yeah, exactly. And then unfortunately, they had one of the probably e-commerce largest failure because they didn't manage their supply chain, their operations smooth and tight. Um, they
They
bring
also kicked
over
out the
inventory.
founders.
Yeah, exactly. And then they overbring inventory in the wrong timing. They didn't have a good uh, sense of understanding what's their landing cost, what's their profit. And back then it was very cool actually to be like 8-figure seller. Nobody really talked about profit, but it's very
Right.
especially if you're selling in different channels. So you need to know what's really the demand from. Seasonality is important. You need to look at your last 2-3 years data from Amazon, like maybe your competitors out of business. Amazon shut down a lot of listings. Amazon shut down a lot of companies, actually. That's crazy. So I know that some of our customers, they have a spike in a day, like 50%. They have no idea. They're like, their best selling rank is just went up for like 10,000 points at a time, just because their top competitors, just like Amazon took them down. So the goal in here, in my opinion, to understand who do you need for what. I wouldn't rely on my supplier's freight forwarder only. The way that I'm not gonna source product from my freight forwarder. Why would you use your supplier's freight forwarder? I think it's just a good understanding what's priority. Some brands, they talk about, yeah, it's convenient for them, but then the cost, the time and delays. I know that AGL has a lot of delays, especially in the fourth quarter. AWD has a lot of delays in the fourth quarter. They don't even have space. You can't book space. You have an appointment. You show up and Amazon say, hey, we don't have enough people to unload the container. Just take it back. As it is like, hey, how can I take the entire container back to? You need to do transload. So I think the industry is going more towards tailor-made solution, not just, hey, I'm going to have one supplier or one freight forwarder handle everything, versus they either go look for a partner who can handle everything with the correct dashboard and data, which we do it, or you need to have a specific solution for specific services that you need. I think 3 years ago, it was okay to like just use AGL AWD for a service or your supplier's freight forwarder, but I think the industry is changing a lot. Even if Amazon says they fulfill everything, I see a cost. It's very expensive. Like, yeah, it's very expensive. It makes no sense. It's almost like 40% higher than using, let's say, Forceget warehouse or another 3PL plus their UPS, versus like, and then I don't like Amazon have all my data.
Yes, exactly.
One thing Amazon did when they started AGL, Amazon Global Logistics, they start learning who's your supplier, so they can actually go and source product against you. They know your HTS code, and they learn
Amazon basics.
They learn so much about your purchasing costs. So now they change their reimbursement from selling point to buying point, and they start lowballing you because they know the manufacturing costs. Nobody knew that. And I kind of talked about that 2 years ago. Hey guys, don't trust Amazon to give all your supplier information, your invoices, your packing list. So now they have all the information they need, and they start kicking out brands, and then, oh, you know what? We have demand. Let's go manufacture the products by Amazon basis. So it's crazy ecosystem right now, but that's why I think brands need to really go and expand new marketplace and new countries.
Couldn't agree with you more. Okay, next question. How are sellers managing stock levels and avoiding costly Q4 mistakes, or what should they be doing?
I think it's like the throughout the year, people need to be careful. I think using the correct software and inventory tool is very important. But there are two things that most of the software companies are, like the SaaS tools, are asking you to enter manually. Number one, the landing cost and profit. Number two, the transit times, which you really don't know. So I question a lot the accuracy of those softwares. So for me, the 4 quarters, you already should have shipped the goods, send them to not Amazon, because transferring between AWD to FBA could take like 4 weeks, 6 weeks. You never know. Amazon checks them in, but they don't distribute, especially if you choose one location. I think it's a big mistake, because if you deliver everything to the one location and you let Amazon to distribute in 30 locations, it's going to take 2 months them to distribute it. But if you ship it to 5 different locations, so from those 5 different locations, it's kind of faster to distribute it. So I always tell people, if they want to do faster check-in, we have a placement fee strategy that we share with people with a fixed cost, $199 per pallet. So we receive the pallet, we rebuild the pallet, shipping to wherever Amazon is asking us, smaller quantities. So this way, you avoid the placement fees, but more importantly, your product checks in faster. So
Mhm.
I mean, that's why if you just like let AGL or AWD handles everything, or your supplier, freight forwarder, or random freight forwarder that they don't know Amazon or e-commerce, it's kind of hard to be competitive. But more importantly, fourth quarter is technically still the best selling time for most of the people. So you shouldn't be like losing those trend days,
Yep,
the
agreed.
supply chain mistakes.
Yep. And by the way, I realized we didn't define AGL and AWD. So AGL is Amazon Global Logistics and AWD is Amazon Warehouse and Distributing. So basically what Amazon has done over the last 2, 3-ish years is first they went, okay, we don't have enough FBA space for all this product. Let's create our own like interim warehousing and let our sellers put all of their excess inventory there. And that way we can charge them for the excess inventory, but it's not taking up our valuable FBA inventory. And then they went, well, hey, why don't we start our own shipping company? And we'll go handle everything. We'll go pick it up from the manufacturer, truck it to a boat it to a dock it to a truck, and truck it to our warehouse. And that's called AGL, Amazon Global Logistics. And did I mess anything on there?
No, correct. Except the custom clearance part is a joke. They use bunch of different wrong HTS code and product descriptions because their response
AGL
rate.
does?
Yeah,
Oh
because
my
they're using
gosh.
they never confirm the H. I mean, imagine how many shipments are coming. I've heard a lot of time the shipment goes to examination because what is in the container is not matching with the packing list and commercial invoice, because they kind of make a mistake in the origin collecting the documents, and then they're sending the wrong reference number. So you're shipping wine glasses, but you kind of declare a basketball. So then the custom finds out you got a like a huge penalty, or they declare the wrong value, or they're using the wrong HTS code, but the money is withdrawn from your seller account, and you can't really do anything. Even if you open a claim, it takes 7 days to like get back an answer, and that's already exceeding
Oh,
the time
wow.
for dispute.
Yeah. And so I know that that goes into customs holdings and you have to pay a daily rate,
Yeah, that
which
hurts.
is really
Um,
expensive.
you need to pay extra for storage at the yard. Like examination fees are very high. Yeah, so it's like it's a lot of cost on like, and I don't even think it's that convenient anymore. Like some the way Amazon design its business right now is kind of when you create a shipment, that's the first option actually comes up. So like everybody thinks, oh, that's my only option. But that's one thing that I don't really like too much, but it's Amazon still. It's what it is.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, good. Let's go on to the next question. Sellers often complain about delays, cancellations, lost shipments with AWD and AGL. What's your experience with this and what alternative solutions should sellers be looking for?
In the beginning of the conversation, I mentioned, they kind of go randomly drop off the containers to
Yeah.
some places, but eventually, I think um, the communication is one of the biggest issue in my opinion, because even if you have a point of contact, which Amazon is kind of improving, they assign you an account manager, those people are kind of working in the back office. They're not day to day involved in the operation. So whatever you kind of like talking to them is same as like Amazon Seller Central support. We all know how great Amazon Seller Central support, like Amazon Seller Central support. We
Yes.
all
I
know
call
that.
it seller supportless.
Yeah, I mean, I like to talk great things about Amazon, like,
Me
oh,
too.
yeah. So we know that it's the same thing with the for the shipping. And some people can be like, yeah, okay, my product's delayed for 2 weeks, no problem. Uh, then there's no problem, honestly. But I think the communication is important. And one thing this year we talk about selling in new marketplaces. If you kind of let your entire inventory sit in AWD, it's like a kind of cash you tied up in your cash flow that you can't use it to distribute to other places. And a lot of people we talk in Accelerate this year, they start going into retailers. They start looking for B2B partners that they can actually do wholesale. They do Shopify, TikTok. We hear a lot of people, or they want to use their inventory, ship it to Mexico or Canada, Latam. So if the product is in AWD, it's kind of like useless. So why would you want to like tie up all that money to keep inventory? If your primary sales channel is Amazon FBA, it's all right. But I don't think that's the trend, because eventually you never know. Kind of running an Amazon FBA business only is risky, in my opinion. You can wake up
I
one day,
agree.
your listing is gone,
Yep.
your business might be gone. You probably have like family you're feeding or like employees, and then the next day you wake up, and then it's just a lot of risk to let one company entire sales, entire operation. And if you have two
Couldn't
container
agree
lost,
more.
AGL or AWD, you're like kind of ruined, because it's not like just you miss the sales, but also you don't have upcoming production. It's going to take another 3 months to like reorder, bring it, being in stock. So I think it's a lot of risks.
I totally agree. I'm working with a client right now that got hit with, in a 6-day period, got hit with over 50 one-star reviews. And their product, by the way, fraudulent reviews based off an unsubstantiated and completely false claim. And so like 50, 60 one-star reviews, and they went from a 4.3, which displays 4.5 stars, to a 3.6. And it killed their sales. Like this is how these people feed their families, you
Yeah,
know?
of course.
And I've almost been put out of business a couple of times by Amazon suspending my accounts for no reason whatsoever. Literally, to this day, no communication, no reason why, and it took me 4 months to get my accounts back, and it nearly bankrupted us.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So like I feel for these people, and I wish Amazon was easier to deal with. And we'll say I based on this most recent Accelerate, not from the content that they produce, because we all know that that's like, and we're here to help you guys because we love you. And like, okay, now that the BS is aside, let me find the people that can actually help me, you know?
Yeah.
But actually I spoke with 2 separate teams at Amazon, brand registry and seller support, an escalation team. They're starting to get it.
Yeah.
Like they know the joke's on them calling themselves support, and I'm seeing strides from them trying to fix it. So, all right, with increasing freight costs and shipping delays, what's the value in having a reliable international logistics partner? You kind of already answered that, but give
Yeah.
us a succinct answer on that.
I mean, again, I think it really depends on what you guys are trying to do. There are a couple of things you can save money. Especially looking at your HTS codes. We do free HTS code. If you guys go to forceget.com and uh, click on the HTS code, we help you with that. Some people try to move their manufacturing to different marketplaces, even start locally sourcing. I feel like that trend has passed a little bit. Like calm down, especially China is 30% more acceptable. I don't know why India has 50% tariff, honestly, but a lot of people, they switch from China to India, they get burned even worse.
Yeah.
So it's everything, like your cost, mitigation, convenience, whatever you call it. You need to find the right supply chain, because it's, I think, more than 50% of the success now going beyond your purchase price, the product, and your supply chain success operations. Otherwise, you don't even know. One thing kind of drives me crazy. People don't know their landing cost profit. So they don't really know how much they can spend on PPC, how much they can spend on their landing cost. And then that's my assistant, by the way. He's like,
Yeah. He's
he's
doing the
taking
butt scoop.
notes and doing crazy stuff. So
I hope he doesn't poop on the floor in the background and you're like, oh gosh.
he never does that. He never does that. He had like a big steak, so I think he's just like still digesting.
Nice.
But I think like not knowing your profit, so you don't know how much money you can spend on affiliate, outside traffic, your Amazon PPC. It's like a huge topic right now. And within our company, we are developing our internal SaaS tool. It's going to connect to the operation directly. It's called Stockchamp. We are launching that in December this year. I think it's going to be revolutionary in the industry.
Looking for beta testers on that?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's going to be the way the way I mentioned this is the world's first 100% accurate landing cost and profit calculator. The only thing you need to enter manually will be your production time and production cost. When we do international shipping, we're going to take automatically the landing cost from the container per unit, as well as the transit times. Forceget warehouse is integrated, so we know the handling time and the cost of units sitting in how long in the warehouse. And we connect to your Amazon store and Walmart, Shopify, TikTok, so we see in each channel how many units you have. So you have the full picture of your entire inventory and landing cost. So it's going to be an incredible tool. I think we've been investing in this. So we'll see where it goes. So I guess long story short, people should pay attention where the industry is going.
Yep.
Not just today. Like if Amazon announced multi-channel, they know something. They have the data. So that's why they're launching this. So
yeah, they haven't announced it. They haven't announced. I mean, we know there's been MCF for a while, but what they announced to us partners, they've not announced to the greater masses of sellers yet, but it's coming. Like the diagram that they showed, it's my first reaction was, oh my gosh, finally you can fulfill to Shopify, Walmart, TikTok, all from one place. But then I went,
with a
what's it
double
gonna
cost,
cost? Yeah.
double than the market rate.
Yep,
But some
exactly.
people call that convenience, and I hope they have
Honestly,
the margins, to do it.
yeah, I mean, honestly, I personally am willing to pay for that convenience because administration is my greatest enemy.
Yeah, correct.
Necessary, but yeah. All right, last question, Burak. Looking ahead, what's one innovation or solution you'd like to see in the next 2 years to make your operations easier?
As I mentioned, our forecasting tool. Forecasting is the most important thing. Cash flow can make you king or go to bankruptcy, unfortunately. So understanding your landing cost, profits, how much money you have for the PPC and marketing, and more importantly, supply chain has a lot of issue last couple of years. Natural disasters, unfortunately, war, geopolitical issues. So you never know when you might have a delay. So never put all your eggs in the same basket. Same as sourcing, same as shipping, warehousing, and then sales. So it's getting more complicated. You're right. I mean, the more vendors, suppliers, marketplace, countries means more administration. Eventually, you need like people. But if you automate it, it's also going to be your leverage because a lot of people they don't want to do it. If you do it, if you set it right, then you can differentiate yourself, and that's where Amazon is actually doing a really good job, in my opinion.
I agree.
No sarcasm, but
Yep.
they actually support you to expand globally. Amazon Canada is a great example. They give you a lot of initiatives. They give you PPC budget, no minimum. You can speak to their team for larger space, no limitation on the inventories, some catchbacks. So actually expand to Australia, Japan. You can become a big brand, and then wholesalers can find you, retailers reach out to you. So putting your brand name is actually easier now to become a global brand versus 5 years ago. So I think eventually the big fish is going to eat the small fish. So you shouldn't stay small. Try to go global, expand. So you need to know your landing cost. So that's where the industry is going. 2 years later, I think we're going to see that even more.
Yeah, that's really well said. I couldn't agree with that more. And because take it from someone who has experience with not going big and you get pushed out.
Yeah.
Eventually it
I mean,
happens.
the fees are eating your profit day by day. So
Mhm.
either you're going to stick there small or get out of the game.
Yeah, you might as well, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right and expand, which is why, I don't do private label because of the amount of administration and if I was going to do it right, I know what that takes, so I'm like,
I,
I'll
I,
stick with what I'm doing.
I think it's better to try it and regret it than not try it and regret it. That's
That's
always
fair.
I believed it, and then hopefully people who needs us, come and talk to us, and then we help them.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Burak, thank you so much for being on the show and bringing your value. If people want to get a hold of you, where do they go?
They can go to forceget.com, and also they can find me on LinkedIn, Burak Yolga. I check my DMs, and happy to connect.
Cool. All right. Thanks for being here, buddy. I'll see you at the next show.
Thank you, man. Thanks for
All right.
having me.